Hello, I'm Emily Barker. Well, the New South Wales budget has just been handed down. To discuss this further, I'm joined by Mark Lennon from Unions New South Wales. Mark, what's the initial reaction to the budget?
Oh, this is a very poor budget. It does nothing for the big ticket items here in New South Wales, in particular the delivery of the jobs that the New South Wales economy needs. This government was elected 15 months ago with a promise of creating 100,000 new jobs, and yet I think we've seen 23,000 jobs lost across the state in recent months. There's a lot of talk about infrastructure development. That's what will stimulate job growth, but there's again nothing practical about infrastructure development in the budget, for instance. There's no real stimulus there for the economy, and there's no real plan how jobs are going to be created through additional skills training. So it's a very poor budget overall.
So it doesn't deliver on jobs or infrastructure?
No, the New South Wales community elected this government they wanted to see this state get moving. And yet now they've had two budgets and there's nothing in there, either of those budgets, and certainly not in this one, that gives the impression this government knows how it's going to get the New South Wales economy moving again and generating the jobs we need.
Does the boost to construction go far enough, do you think?
Not for the construction workers in the last few months, some 20,000 or so who have lost their jobs. When you look at the collapse of household names such as Kellen Rigby and St Hilliers, it's too little too late with regard to construction. The other problem in regard to construction is, coming back to the skills issue, there's no money there, and actually I think they've cut funding to TAFE in the budget to make sure that we're training the skilled workers we need to fill the gaps in the construction industry, in the skill base in the construction industry in coming years.
How would you score this budget?
Well, I'm not a great one for scoring, but when you look at the Farmers Federation, who are meant to be allies of this particular government, and I just see that they've scored it 5.5 out of 10, it shows that it's a pretty ordinary budget, and I'd be struggling, like some of my colleagues, to give it any more than 2 out of 10.
Well, it's more than a year into this government. What does this budget say about this government, do you think?
This is an incoherent budget from an incoherent government. This government has no overall strategy. All its measures are ad hoc. Again, if you look at its attacks in this budget on public sector workers, that's all they can resort to. When they have no ideas, when they have no strategy, they resort to the time-tested, what they think is the time-tested remedy of attacking public sector workers. 10,000 jobs to go as a consequence of this budget, 1.2% cut to labour costs in each of the next 4 years. That's going to be a disaster for service delivery in New South Wales. They say, the government, that it doesn't affect frontline services, but everyone knows that you can't take 10,000 jobs out of the public sector without affecting frontline services. This government has no idea where it's going. It had 16 years in opposition to work out where it was going once it came to power, and it has failed at every step of the way.
So no positives?
Not that I can see. I mean, this is going to be a struggle now in terms for the public sector. It's going to be a struggle trying to work out exactly where the infrastructure spending is coming. The big failing too is Mike Baird was promoted as the new Treasurer who's had experience in the finance industry, and yet he's done nothing on the revenue side of the budget. All states need serious reform when it comes to state taxes. There's no doubt that the revenue side of the budget is under pressure. But other than talk in his speech about harmonisation of state taxes and talking with other states about that, he's done nothing to address the inefficient taxes we have in this state. The ACT, last week in its budget, has taken steps to abolish stamp duty over 20 years. That's the sort of thing that this government should be thinking about, and particularly a Treasurer who was a former banker. If you want to really help home buyers, if you really want to boost the construction industry, then let's all address the stamp duty question once and for all.
Is there anything else you guys would like to see?
I'd like to see a lot more stimulus for the economy generally. Rather than being taking money out of the New South Wales economy, this government needs to put more money in, and it needs to step up and take some action on the infrastructure. Name the projects, tell us where they are, tell us how they're going to be funded. All this discussion about our new funding models for our infrastructure project, again, it's all talk and no action. We need to see some huge action on infrastructure. That's what's going to stimulate the New South Wales economy.
Well, Mark, thank you for joining me in the bunker today.
Thank you, Emily.
And of course, for more information, you can go to Union's New South Wales website.